So here is Tennyson Kid, and Tenny as I'm calling him. And this is his, I believe, his fourth post-track ride. And today's a big day for him because he is getting introduced to ground poles and flower boxes and little tiny fillers and things like that. Excuse me. So when I always make these introductions to ground poles types videos, I always feel like they're sort of boring, but boring is good when you're introducing babies to new things like jumping. We don't want it to be crazy exciting, and we certainly don't want it to be explosive in any way or overly reactive. So when I have a boring first ride introducing them to poles or small jumps, to me, that's like the absolute best case scenario. I want them to feel relaxed. I want them to feel confident. I really prefer, if I'm riding them in the ring, to be able to do all of this on sort of a looser rein. So I don't want them to be on the muscle. And so I sort of can check that by if I can ride them around with a little bit of loop in the rein and they keep their balance and they keep a nice tempo, then I'm pretty confident that they're going around in a relaxed, happy state of mind. So he's not going to be quite as in a frame as he was when we were doing when we've done all of our other rides. But that's sort of on purpose. And so, as I always do, I spend a bunch of time at the beginning of the ride just walking over all the things, getting him used to the idea of doing this. And he was excellent. I mean, he really didn't bat an eye at anything when we were walking over all the things, which then, of course, makes both of us super confident that when we come at things in the trot, that it's also going to be no big deal. And that's a recipe that I don't think I've ever had that not work for me. If I can get them to confidently walk over things, then the next step of trotting over things is never a fuss. So I was happy with this here because we had just started trotting, and of course we're just going right to the first little ground pole on the ground, and I just have a real light feel in the reins. But even with just a real light, soft feel, he's still happy to sort of start to come round, and he's certainly very soft in his jaw, and so he just felt relaxed today. He has a really happy looking expression on his face, and I was just thrilled with him when we went to that Cavaletti because obviously it's just a raised ground pole. But he just trotted up to it and landed in a beautiful canter. So that's like presto. That's exactly what I want them to do. If I could just like wave my wand and get them to do all the things in the perfect order, it's great that he just so naturally figured out that, okay, this is what we do when we're going over things. And it's not just that he landed in the canter, it's the type of canter that he landed in, just very rhythmic, balanced, and relaxed canter. And so, of course, he did it twice in a row to make sure that it wasn't just luck. So he's just super smart. And then the other thing that I like about doing polls with these guys, even when they're just, a few post track rides in, is that it really sort of piques their attention. So where when maybe in the first ride or two they're wanting to lean at the gate and the steering feels not 100% and all these things, when we start doing the polls, because for the most part they tend to like it, he certainly does, and it forces you to be doing all sorts of different turns and shapes across the arena then, like he just did that rollback turn to those poles. That was so good. Then it sort of distracts them from this whole notion of having any sort of argument about steering. And like that works perfectly for him today. He was steering so nicely around the ring in both directions. In his first ride or two, he was a little bit harder to the right, which they practically all are a little bit harder to the right. And most particularly, just going by that short side by the gate. He didn't do anything naughty, but just wanting to lean out the left shoulder, which they literally all do. But the second we started going over poles, and look at him, so smart, he did the same thing to the right and got his correct lead. So just super smart. But going over the poles just totally distracts him from that. And then all of a sudden, it's no issue at all. And the steering is brilliant, and he's not leaning out any shoulder at all. And it really is probably a lot of it. It's just that it really forces me to have to ride them better and ride them more in my tube. But whatever it is, it really works wonders, and it certainly did for him. Look at him there. He's just wanting to be round, which is just so perfect. So this is quite a hard turn here. This is a sharp turn out of that corner to these poles, but actually he was so straight and so good about it. Good boy. I lost the left shoulder just slightly coming to that, but he was good. He let me make the correction, and he was a good boy. But actually watching him just do that sort of reminds me that I think that was literally the only time through this whole ride when he did a little wiggle, which I think is extremely impressive. So for the most part, he was really just like straight as an arrow. Oh, so nice there. Such a good boy. And then that was very good. So at this point, he's sort of feeling, he's gone over enough ground poles and little things that he's feeling kind of unimpressed by them, which is fantastic. We don't want him to feel impressed by ground poles. Super straight crosses diagonals. I like how he's got some nice swing behind. He just looks generally relaxed and happy about the things that we're doing today. Oh, and then that was so smart and cute. I will say, when he lands in the canter, it's always balanced, and he's remarkable about naturally landing on the correct lead. Super nice there in the corner. I love his frame. I love his facial expression. I'm trying to remember what I was doing next. I can't. Oh, I think we come around the corner and go to the little coop. Ah, oh, so nice through this corner. Little sneeze. That was quite brilliant. Really good boy. And actually that we did not walk over the coop, so he was seeing the coop for the first time. I think we did it one more time. Yeah, one more time off that turn. Again, love his frame here. Love how relaxed he is. And again, lands in the canter. Makes a cute little shape. Very soft. All the things. I'm thrilled with that. So then I think we ended by just turning it around and doing the coupe the other way. Harder turn this direction. Well, harder for a couple of reasons. It's a shorter turn, and it's going away from the gate and the barn and all the things that draw them in. But he was perfect. Just lovely. And I love how there we're able to just sort of canter away from it, like with the loop in the reins. And he's just so rhythmic. I was really happy with that. think we do it one more time, and then that was it. It's tempting to want to do more because obviously he thought that this was easy. But I just want him to feel like he's on top of the world at the end of this ride. Like this was super easy, super fun, and he can't wait to do it again. So I just think he's going to come out next time with even more confidence. And I thought it was great. Couldn't have asked for more from him for this ride.